Welcome back to the Untitled Chapter. This is Mike, and I'm here today to show you everything about this WeiJiang KO Power of the Primes Predaking, which is TF Sky Soarer, and I got this set at Show Z for 66 bucks. You can too. There'll be a link in the description. We are going to look at the individual bot modes. We're going to transform them into their alt modes. And then we're going to transform them into the limbs and build him and do comparisons. And I'm going to show you all the differences that I know of. I don't have in hand an open up version of this original to compare to. I have some tidbits throughout the way that I'll share that I've picked up from other people that have said things. So without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so here is the box, and a couple of good things I want to point out about the box. First of all, this is a complete set. You're not going to get individual boxes, individual releases. They did sell them individually and eventually came out with a box set, which is what I prefer. It's also original artwork on it, and it is not a copy of the Hasbro Power of the Primes box. It says on here, the Sky Soarer, and it shows each individual character. And on the back, now the back, I think it looks a lot like the original, like the Power of the Primes Hasbro one, but I do think it's quite a bit different. But anyway, the box set is the way I go, simply because I'm planning on just displaying it in combined mode, and that makes a difference to me. Okay, so this is how it comes packaged in this plastic clamshell. You're gonna have them all separate. It's kind of strange how they did this, because you got this guy right here, and you've got the wings to him over here, and kind of spread out with all these other little pieces. But if you look at the bottom here, they have an extra little storage container on the bottom, and that has the guns in it that we're gonna need. They also included each separate instructions for each of the different figures, so there they are, and a fun sticker sheet, which seems to be, I thought there'd be more stickers than this, but hey, that's cool. I haven't put stickers on anything for a while. But yeah, that's how it comes. We're gonna break it out and see what we can do with this. Okay, so here is the team out of the package, and there's a few things that we're going to have to look at here. First of all, we've got this piece that's going to have to connect right here, and then we're going to have to connect this piece to the back of Razor Claw. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And this actually looks like it's going to be kind of a tight fit in here, and it does look like a tight fit. Pop that guy in there though, which I don't know why. I guess they figured it would break in shipping or something, but there we go. I think that's in there. There you go, it's in there. And let's attach this back piece right here. That was a lot easier. That's going to be the lower part of the main. When we get this guy transformed up, and then looking at the wings here, I went ahead and put stickers on the wings on one wing, but I wanted to show that if you choose not to do the stickers, there is, I guess it's easier to look like that, but there is some molded detail right here that you will lose. Get some reflection on that, but you don't see the molded detail anymore once you got the sticker on. But I guess it really doesn't make a difference. If you don't put the sticker, you still have molded line work and detail, so that's a thing. Also, I just wanted to point out before we get into all of this fun, and we do have to add the wings on to this guy right here. So you want to make sure the side with the screws is going to be on the back of it when you put the wings on. So there's this notch right here and a round part there, and then another notch here, and Just gonna tab all in there and just slides right on. Pretty simple, and it'll probably slide right off just as easy. So do the other side. And there he goes with his wings, and it makes it look for really bulky, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it was with the original one. Now we've got the hands in there, which we're going to be using, but we're going to set those aside for now. And we have the feet, which are bigger than the originals. And you need to know that each foot's, one is left and one is right, the way the ankle rocker works. So you don't want to put the wrong one on the wrong side, because then you won't have ankle rocker, it'll just stand straight. And then all of these guns, well, 2 of them are going to be shoulder cannons. And I think my understanding is they're different. They're not exactly the same. They're not copies, so they've made their own guns. And then this thing here is going to connect to this and make a huge, gigantic cannon, like so. Before we get into transforming, I'm going to take a quick look at these. I just want to point out some of the improvements that were made. I know the inside filler piece here is an improvement that was made over the original, and so that's a good thing. This is red instead of silver, so I mean that's not really an improvement. And I've heard stuff about like the detailing is not as defined on these, but I think it's fine to me. And looking at them from the back, one thing that I don't like about these is when they're in robot mode, they all have this, well, not all of them, but well, they all have some sort of kibble. Like this. This is almost like a handle, like if you're going to do a puppet show with them or something. But it's, what it is it's parts, it's not parts forming, but it's sort of parts forming. It's just a giant piece of the thigh just hanging off of them. I know that was a big complaint about the original set anyway, and really not much of an improvement there. But yeah, I mean, it's a decent looking figure for what he is, if you don't look at him from the back, and you try not to see his giant tail, but yeah, it works. All right, so let's look at this Sabretooth or Rampage, and I'm trying to keep all the names straight on these guys. Both the KO whatever name and then the real name. But as we put the head in there, he does have quite a bit of what looks to be extra pieces of plastic. And that's not paint, that's plastic. So that was different, I think. There is paint right here and here, paint on the lower legs. You know, these all have about the same articulation. And I think they all have a waist swivel. I really do think they all have a waist swivel. It's just pretty interesting with all that's going on with this set. They all have ankle rockers, so that's good. And look at the back. Now this is an arm. He makes an arm, so not as much kibble as like having a thigh, but yeah, it's different for sure. That's definitely different. And then, yeah, from the back he's pretty plain. So, I mean, I think the arms, I guess, look better in robot mode since they don't have that giant thigh hanging off the back of them. So this is the one they call War Eagle or Dive Bomb. And here he is with his wings on. And, yeah, he looks pretty good. I know I have the original, and I dropped that off there. So, looking up here, he has a pretty decent looking head. Sculpt. You can see the painted eyes. Paint right here, that's actually plastic. And paint on the shoulders, paint on the lower waist there. Not much paint right there. And then the back, that's just, you know, a giant. Well, it has a lot to do with the combination, all that stuff too. So here's the one they call Steel Claw or Razor Claw. And this one here, he looks pretty good. You know, much better articulation than, say, the G1 version. There's that piece we put on the back, and he's going to have like an extended mane, I guess. So, not a whole lot of paint on this guy. Like there's his face. That almost looks Super G1 itself. And there is, I believe this is extra plastic. So this is plastic pieces. You open this up here on this guy and you get this matrix piece, which if it's not in there, it just kind of looks almost a little plain. But this could pop out. Well, it popped out a lot easier the first time, let me tell you. And there's the matrix piece, and then this is the, whatever they call these, the Prime Masters. Yeah, there it is. I mean, it was included with the original set, so they included it also, and that's why that is there. Anyway, he is a king with his own matrix. I want to also talk about on this guy when this piece had fallen off in the shipping, because it just tabs right in. So I don't think that's really a big deal, like any of the little piddly stuff that just tabs in and falls out. It's not going to be the end of the world to me. Well, I think that is, let's see, that's plastic, an extra piece of plastic on there too. They are really big on adding extra plastic instead of painting it, which is interesting. I don't know if that's an above and beyond kind of thing, or if they should have just painted it. But anyhow, it'll stay that color forever probably. And we have Sharp Blade or Tantrum, who's right here. So yeah, this guy is another one with the leg situation. And you know, it almost seems like it has some similar transformations to one of the other ones over here, the other leg. So I mean, obviously they're going to borrow for the leg pieces. I do like how I don't think that these were like silver on the first set, but we have some paint right here on the visor. I do believe the face is just yellow plastic. We have, that's plastic, that's paint, that's plastic, that's plastic. Down here, yellow plastics. There's a lot of work they put into this. And I don't have the original right next to it to compare what's what. And I think that Larkin's Lair did a good side-by-side comparison, so you can see all that. Here's some paint right here. And then a lot of plainness on the lower legs. Very plain after that. Side, there's plastic again. Plastic right there. Very interesting.
Volvatron, I'm growing sick of you trying to boss me around. I'm gonna lead the Decepticons from now on. No, you're not. You believe in ghosts, don't you? Why, yes, I do believe in ghosts, but what does it matter? Well, that doesn't scare me. That's just you. That's just two of you. That doesn't scare me at all. Oh yes, you need to settle down, because don't you know Decepticons will no longer exist in the future. We will all be Predacons. Ha ha ha.
Let's start with transforming this guy up. So the first thing we need to do is rotate the head around. We're going to turn this hand into a leg, which is pretty simple. You just do that. And transforming these up. Now this does have that filler piece. I think a few of them have a filler piece. At least two have a filler piece. So we're going to open that filler piece up, fold this to the top, pull this leg out, and then we have to rotate this. This is a different thing here. You have to rotate this over, snap that in, and then you can bring this piece around from the back. And all that snaps in just right. So we'll do the other side. We're going to open this tab right here. We're going to bring this piece to the up. It's not going to all tab in just yet. We're going to rotate this, rotate it all the way over, tab it in, and then we're going to fold this around and then bring it all down, tab it all in, bring that leg out, and it's going to stick the thigh piece down there. You got this guy. You want to get the right angle of the size of this to make it feel right. So let's bring these down more. So you've got all of the legs equal. And there you go with this guy. I believe we use this as a tail. Let's go ahead and give him his cannons right here. So you just fold the top piece over. You're going to plug that into here, like so, and he has his cannons. So there he is. That's how he looks. Kick your leg back up there, buddy. Don't rest on your stomach. But you know, it gets the job done, and we're gonna keep transforming them, see what they look like as a set. All right, so let's go ahead and get this guy knocked out right here. We're gonna go ahead and do pretty much the same thing. Flip the head around, fold the arm down, and we can go ahead and just at this point push it down all the way, unlike on the other one. So we'll do the other leg the same way. And you have the front legs ready to go. Moving to the back. Now we're going to lift this out of the way just to get it out of the way. And then we're going to open the inner leg. And we're going to bring this up to the top. We're going to fold this piece to the other side, just like we did with the other one, and rotate around from the back side, which bring the leg out, and there we have that one. Again, on the other side, open it up, lift this piece up, rotate over, fold to the bottom, and then connect. This thing comes out like so, and that goes up like that. And we have them. Now we're going to add the other foot to his back, fold the foot over, and I do understand why people get them one at a time, so they can fiddle with them and have everything figured out all at one time. But let's grab the next one. Let's get Rampage transformed up real quick. He's supposed to come with this gun. So we'll take that off and set it aside. First thing we're going to do, fold his head down and basically hide that head. Let's go ahead and hide these hands. Make that quick and easy. Well, that's a kind of a tight hand. There we go. Got that hidden. We can go ahead and fold these. It tabs into here and bring that leg down. Same thing over here. Bring that leg down. Next up, we're going to go ahead and flip this around to the top and then fold it like that. Let's work on these legs down here. Open these tabs. Combiner wars them down. I know it's Power of the Primes, WeiJiang, but we're combiner warsing them anyway. Tab them together. 2 tabs, 2 holes. Tab them together. And then we're going to move these to the outside and fold down the legs. Now I feel like these legs kind of stick a little bit far back, but that's just for me. Now we're going to collapse, and that does, disconnecting that feels awkward. Collapse all that down. And we got the leg, and it's not lined up just right. There it is, lined up. Put these feet flat in the back. And we've got this guy. Kind of looks down. Mr. Downer. Slap his gun on his tail. Did you have a gun tail? And there he is. Alright, let's get Steel Claw or Razor Claw transformed up. Flip the head around. Let's go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and put the fists away first. If I can, without popping it off. That one is pretty tight. Fist is put away. Can't believe it took that long to put a fist away. Fist is put away. And we're going to flip this whole head around, and it's going to come down right here. And as you can see, the arms are going to come down into place. Same on the other side. Flip that around to get the nice look to it. Let's move on to the back pieces here. The legs, pretty interesting how they work. You're going to untab them, and then we are going to bring it up, and this is going to tab into this. Let me get the right angle on it. There is a tab right here. You can see that. And then there is a spot right here. And it doesn't make sense how it works. Flip that flap out of the way. It's an angle. It's going to go in at an angle like that. And then this tab tabs into that spot. And then that's how that works. And then this leg comes down. You've got the rear leg. So you can do the same thing over here. Flip all this up. Line those tabs up. For people who like things like perfectly straight and all that, this is not gonna, this is not that. Put this flat back down. And that just seems like a strange angle. And then we're gonna work on we're gonna rotate these around. Ah, there it goes. And then you can have the guns for them, however that you want that to work. He's got some guns. Let's get him armored up. We have this cannon that plugs into there, like so, or however you want to do it. I think they say you're supposed to do it like this. So, all right, move on to Dive Bomb. Let's have a look at Dive Bomb here, and yes, he is the biggest of the set because of those big gigantic wings, and of course the wings are gonna have to look big and massive and impressive when it's in combined mode, so let's get it transforming him. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, let's go ahead and fold this head up. We're gonna go ahead and do something with these hands, fold them in. If a wing falls off, just don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. We'll add those back on in a second. All right, so fold that up. And same thing on the other side. The hand in there, fold them like that. Let's go ahead and work on the feet. All right, this sort of combiner wars up again on both sides. There we go. They do tab together, but in this mode you don't need to tab together. Okay, so down below you have the toes that pop out to give it some accurate toes. Well, we're gonna flip these around to the side, and there's a slot there. There's a slot. There is the tab, and you're gonna tab that in just so the arms aren't bouncing around too much. Same thing on the other side. And if you suck at keeping your wings on like I do, slide them back on. Now, I don't know if I might need to put more pressure on this. It might not be in all the way. That might be what my problem is. I think I just need to put a lot more pressure on that. I may do it if they keep falling off too much, but I thought it was on there pretty good. They've fallen off a couple times now. So anyway, here we have this guy in his beastly mode. Not a whole lot, there we go. Not a whole lot of articulation with that, but there's the bird. Now let's look at them as a team. So here they are as a team, and I think that, hey, that looks good. That looks very G1-esque. It harkens back to the G1. It looks good. I mean, a lot of the similarities with where the foot goes. And I understand there's some sort of storage in the top here. I wonder if you could just store the hands in there or something. I think that is the idea. Maybe you can just store the hand in there or something. But you can have storage in the back here of that. So That was a big deal. Okay, so if you tuck the thumb in, you can store these guys like so, and it actually has slots for the wrists. So yeah, the fists store in there too, which is cool. I know people like that kind of stuff. So one of the other things is I think these little cannon pieces come off, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to, but WeiJiang did a whole lot of extra parts and pieces instead of just painting, so that was an interesting piece too. And let's look at these guys from different angles. There they are from a different angle, and they get the job done. Now I'm ready to build this guy. Let's go ahead and start with the legs. So we're going to remove the foot, get the foot in position, and we're going to fold these lower legs up. I also find that it's easier to go from this mode, because it's almost there, to leg mode. Stay in frame, all I did was fold the back legs in. Super easy. Now, let's go ahead and flip the head around, lift it up. That means you can lift the thigh up into place, and then you just fold these back legs down, open up the lower part, and we're going to connect it. Now, let's make sure we got the right one to the right side. And you have these two, where you see two tabs there, on each side of this thing. You have two holes here and two holes here. Get that all to show up. You're just gonna tab it all in together. You actually have connectors at the top too, but they're not as defined. They're just squared off. So really, I mean, if it's worked out right, tighten it in. There are tabs right here that need to get tabbed in. Right there, make sure that's tabbed in so it holds tight. Holds tight. And there we go, we got a leg. Let's raise up the camera just a bit. And what we're going to do is fold this over and around, and we've got the first of many legs. No, first of like 2 legs. I really feel like this is just the same thing, which is kind of the fun part about a box set is if they share engineering at all, you start to see that and it makes sense and becomes kind of easy. So anyway, let's go ahead and do the head and flip it up, flip up the leg piece. And so I don't have to adjust it, let's just go ahead and do that right now. Fold this over, and there you go. Now, we can go ahead and do the arms. So I'm doing the same transformation 2 different ways, just in different orders. Why? Because you can, and because, well, it's really easy. Some transformations have to be done a certain way, and some do not. So connect this in, just like the other one. Make sure it's lined up with all the tabs and stuff just right. And now this is facing inward, so we need to make sure that we got the right rocker. And we do. And if you can see in the background, we have 2 legs. We're building this guy now. Let's bring this guy over, and we're going to pop the wings off. And as I spoke about earlier, these pieces here need to be in very tight. So I just gave it quite a bit of pressure, and they snapped into place a lot better. And so now they won't be falling off like they were. And I was just afraid I was gonna break them, but it turns out you need that. So anyway, flip this piece here. This is actually going to connect. Interesting, isn't it? It's gonna connect to the waist pieces. Then you're gonna flip this down, and then these wing pieces up. And then you're gonna bring it in. So let's go ahead and raise this. All right, we're gonna bring this in and connect here and connect. Move your arm, connect here. So you say. There it goes. And we're moving along. We're getting close. All right, so working on this guy. Let's go ahead and pull the head forward a bit. Let's undo this. What we're gonna do is fold this down, and we need this to be pretty much perpendicular, so that when you fold it over, it's straight like that. Same thing on the other side. I'm gonna untab this little piece that the arm's connected to. We're gonna fold it over and make sure, because it's on a double hinged elbow, so you want it that way. And then you've got a slot here, and a slot here, and a tab here, and a tab here. And all that's gonna tab together to give it some strength. So it has to line up right. And then you have a slot in this outer piece that the arm is gonna tab into. Just get it all lined up, boom, there it is. Next up, we're going to work on the fist. You gotta figure out which fist it is, and this is gonna be the right arm, I believe, so we're gonna use the right fist. And then there's 2 slots here on the foot, and 2 slots here on the foot. Before we get to that, fold the toes in. Go ahead and attach the hand, and attach the hand. And now the feet give the hand some articulation, but this is where most of the articulation is, but there's a bit more, which that works. I'm gonna turn it to an angle so that the connector piece, disconnect this. This is gonna connect to the bot itself, and then we can fold this out to give it a little bit more range. There we go. And the arm is ready to go, but we can't put it on yet. For this guy, I'm going to razor claw, pull off that gun attachment. Let's go ahead and do something with these legs. So we're going to basically make the legs as if they are whole again in a way. Put that up, fold that down, make sure that tab's right. And then same thing on the other side. Fold it down, fold this up. I made the mistake of not folding that foot up once and you lose all your articulation, but anyway. Let's get that line just right with the tab. I said line just right with the tab. There it is. And we are going to have those sticking straight back. Next up, we want to reveal the head. So we're going to open that up, pull the head up, then make sure these tabs go back in their slots. And then you got the head. Then we are going to, that piece just came out on its own. Pull those pieces out, pull this down. We'll move this to the back. And we want this to tab in. This piece tabs into this right there. Same on the other side. And we're gonna make sure that the guns are facing forward. This thing's down, and now we're gonna connect it. That's what it looks like. It's ready for connection. And I formed the head. So there's the connector piece right there, and you're going to slide, see if I can get that in there just right, this over that connector piece. So like this. It's almost too easy. No, it's not that easy. Then we're gonna slide these legs down, and these legs are supposed to tab in, and it doesn't actually look like a tab. It's a notch. It's a notch right there. Where is it? Can you see it? It's a little notch right there. And a tab right here. That's going to go into that notch, and it doesn't really tab in, so to speak. It just kind of holds it there. Oh man, I got that to snap. See, this guy here makes the same little snap. Yeah, made a little snap. I guess it does tab in. It doesn't look like it would do much, but I guess it does. Let's go ahead and attach one of the arms, and then we transform up the last arm. So I do want to show this. Okay, you're going to slide this over this. just like so. And then fold this up and tab it in. So this tabs into the wing. To give the wing a little bit more strength, let's do the last arm. Go ahead and do this last arm here. And so remove that, fold this up, fold this up. Okay, we're gonna fold this all the way down. Let's go ahead and flip and retransform it, basically taking it mostly back to bot mode. So that is an issue. Let's go and do that right here too. Snap that in, unfold that arm, snap the leg mode back in. We want to tab this into here to make it tighter. Tab that in good. And we have that going on. Now with the legs, I'm gonna fold these feet pieces down. Again, fold that out. Now we need to connect the hand. Okay, I had way too much trouble with that. I just gave it an immense amount of pressure. Made sure it was lined right, an immense amount of pressure, and it snapped into place, and it's gonna hold on good. So let's see this arm put into place. Same as before, sliding it on, and coming around to the back and tabbing in this wing piece, and here it is. All built up. We've been waiting for this guy to get built today, or I know I have been. I've been waiting to build this guy. So let's have a look at him real quick. Starting at the top, he does have light up eyes, batteries included. I love that. And you can still use his chest gimmick in here for his little, well, whatever you want with that. The arms, they actually are pretty well. There's a ratchet in there and pretty good articulation with the arms and the elbow, and you have a swivel, and then you have the hands have movement, and then the hands can splay, as you can see. So there's the upgraded hands versus the first set. The original Hasbro one didn't have these hands, and so that's definitely a good thing, a good improvement over the original. Looking at the legs, because it's not really parts forming, but it is parts forming in a way. You can go all the way that high with this guy, and to the back and out, and thigh swivel. He goes all the way out, like everything you would need. Superposable for what you're getting here, and pretty big. We're gonna measure him here in just a second too. You've got the thigh swivel, the knee to there, and then the ankle rocker, of course, and you got extra swiveling here because they all have waist swivels, so you can get like a ridiculous amount of posability with this guy. So we're gonna get into comparisons. I want to point a few things out about this guy. First of all, we're gonna do a measurement, and he measures right under 18 inches, so not exactly 18 inches, but when you take the wings and you push the wings up as high as they'll go and all that, then, measuring to the tip of the wing, you've got 19.3 inches. I don't know if I would count that. I count the height of a combiner to pretty much the top of his head, which is 17 and a half, somewhere between 17 and a half and 18 inches. So, with that being said, this guy actually doesn't fit, for whatever reason, the parts that come with the upgrade kit for the DNA upgrade kit or any other upgrade kits, they don't work with him. So you don't expect to use the upgrade kits that exist. You'll only be able to buy the WeiJiang upgrade kits. WeiJiang currently has a sword for $10 at Shozi, and that sword looks good. Everybody's got great reviews on that thing. I've got that thing coming, so I will review it when I get it in. I think it is 5 separate small swords that make one big sword, but we're gonna find all that out when I get it in and show it to you guys. So let's get into some comparisons. So here he is next to G1. But looking at this guy here, he is almost twice the size of the original G1, and you looking at the aesthetic, I think it looks so much better as the newer version. And I think we say that about pretty much all of the newer updated versions versus an actual G1 figure. Here's the Fans Project Intimidator, which is their take on their Minosaur. And I really feel like this is old school Combiner Wars size scale. It might be a tad bit taller than the Combiner Wars versions. So this is what he'd look like next to Combiner War versions, meaning not looking all that great in my opinion size-wise. That doesn't match at all. And this guy's right around 12 inches versus almost 18 inches. And keep that in mind, I have a poll going on what combiners you like to collect, so vote on that poll. Here he is next to Prime and Megatron, and I really do think that looks good. I think that scale's fine. I'm okay with that. I don't know. What do you think? How do you feel about the scale, Prime and Megatron versus him? I mean, if that's how you display your display, you don't have all these other bigger combiners, it looks great. Next, I have the scale that I think he fits the best, and I really think he really works the best with these guys. They're all around 18 inches. This is the WeiJiang Jet Commander, which is the KO oversized of the Combiner Wars. This is him, and that's not Titan Returns, but it's the same size. That one's actually Unite Warriors with upgrade kits and stuff. But when you look at that, that looks good. They work together very well, and I like that. And I bet you guys think if you're collecting that size, that scale, this blends together very well. What else fits in this? There's the KO oversize of the Warbertron, which is a Bruticus. I used to have that, and it scaled very well with these guys. It doesn't, I got rid of that one because I bought the Zeta version, and what else scales with that? I think the KO oversize of the, I think it's the TFC's Uranus, which is another Superion option out there. I don't think that's the greatest. I have it around here somewhere, but those are, that's about, it's a little shorter. That's about an inch shorter, but would work okay with these guys if you look at Predaking being bigger than the rest. Next, we have the big guys. These are Zetas, and so with this, you've got, let's show exactly how tall these guys are so you can get a good comparison. So around to the top of the head, right around 20 inches to the top of his head. And so he's about 2 inches taller, and 2 inches is a big difference. Now, I don't know how to say like if 1 inch is a big difference or anything, but this Devastator is about a little over 20 inches. So he's got about a 1/4 inch height on Superion. So let's prop him up a little bit, and he's still a bit short, but I'm thinking this is probably about the height of the X-Transbots Minosaur, and from this angle, you can still see the X-Transbots Minosaur is going to be a little short. So he is a little short. There's ways you can display him and make him work if you want to do it, or you can wait for yet another option out there. I like this guy. He's going to be my Predaking for a while. And now stepping a class above combiners, we have the DX9's Omega Supreme, which is way bigger than him. And of course, way bigger than the other offerings also. So, that's a good size comparison there. So that is the WeiJiang TF Sky Soarer, the KO of the Power of the Primes version. I think it's a great set for the price. I'm sure there are other ones that are better. I don't personally have the Feral Rex and these other ones out there, but for $66, it's gonna work. You can get this at Show Z right now. I think it's a decent set, and depends on what scale you go with, or if you want to fake it till you make it, or if you just want to leave a hole. It's up to you. I like it, and for the price, it cannot be beat. Like, subscribe, Titanium Hangers out.